Our early spring trip to Algonquin began in the middle of the year's first heat wave. Paddling from Lake of Two Rivers down the winding Upper Madawaska with its spare banks reminded us that despite the heat just a few weeks before they were covered with snow, and in a few weeks they would be covered in green leaves. On Whitefish and Rock Lakes, we battled strong headwinds before facing our most daunting task, a 3-kilometer portage into Lake Louisa. After 3 hours of portaging back and forth through the woods, we finally made it to the blue water on the other side. The sun was setting as we found our campsite and set up our tents in the diminishing twilight. Then it was time to relax and enjoy some steaks grilled over the campfire after a long day.
Oh, that was awful. I did not like that. I was feeling discouraged at the end of that portage, but was pretty happy to get through it, and felt like we accomplished something after completing it. Paul did most of the work, carrying the canoes. Yeah. It's a real trooper that way. That was good.
Great. Well, one thing we realized is that between us, we only had 2.5 liters of water, which lasted maybe 1/3 of the portage.
Yeah, we finished it pretty quick.
And it was fairly warm, probably 27 and slightly humid, so we sent Christina on to the end with the bailing bucket and some Aquatab pills or whatever so that she could get some water from the lake and then bring it back for us.
We had a relaxing rest day around camp, fishing, reading, and eating. The weather continued to be warm until a late afternoon storm sent us scrambling back to the safety of a tarp. Hey, we are stuck under my hammock tarp. Get in here, Brennan.
Alright.
We are stuck under my hammock tarp.
Oh, there we go.
And we're stuck under my hammock tarp, and it is raining hard. Well, it's more windy hard. Christina and I were out on a small fishing expedition just to the next bay over, and we saw some clouds coming in, and tried to get back post-haste, and then about maybe 10 minutes after we got back, it just started blowing like crazy.
I don't want to say anything, but well, if I do, it feels like it's gonna get worse. But it looks like it's letting up, so I'm pretty happy about that. Yeah, oh, you can hear it's slowing down. We shall see.
Christina's just laughing. The foggy end of the storm foreboded the weather woes we would have for the rest of the trip. But for now, we just fixed up the tarps and prepared to head off down the lake the next morning.
So just here eating my oatmeal. Have a little bit.
Yeah.
It's not too bad. I think I left it on a little bit too long. It's a little burnt, but with the chocolate, you barely notice. All done.
All done.
Well, not quite. That's interesting. Oatmeal.
It's our Mother's Day oatmeal.
Yeah, it's chocolate in it.
And raisins.
Well, we're just about packed up. It's 20 to 9. Hopefully we can get going very shortly. And yeah. Hopefully we didn't leave anything. We'll double check just to be sure. But right now it's sort of a calm day. Looks like it might rain or drizzle a little bit. Lots of fog. And it looks like the wind is actually from the east a little bit. If there is any wind. There is nothing quite like canoeing on a calm and misty morning. This morning brought a long paddle down Lake Louisa and a portage up to a small lake nestled in the hills, 30 meters higher in elevation, and then another portage down the hill on the other side. Portaging can be quite unpleasant at times, but when you take a minute, you can appreciate all the nature surrounding you, like a flower you nearly stepped on, or the view of the approaching lake through bare trees.
The wild Paul in his natural habitat. Watch him as he canoes majestically. Wow.
After some lunch and fishing on Lawrence Lake, we continued through another couple small portages, one going over a nice falls. After one last portage in the increasing rain, one small obstacle remained before Head Lake, on which we would spend the night.
Pretend this was your first attempt.
Alright, we'll try again. Yay!
Yay!
It wasn't exactly all in one go, but we did.
Oh, whatever. Paul will cut it to make it look like we did it right.
Well, it was a rainy day. We got into camp around 5:30 or 6 o'clock actually. Yeah, it continued to rain, not heavily, but steadily. And got a little bit cold, I think. I don't know what the temperature is, but it's not really the warmest. And anyway, we got all set up and everything, and had dinner, and we're basically all just tired and wet and wanted to go into our respective places and dry off and have a good night. So that's what we're doing. Welcome to a rainy day 4 morning. It's actually not too bad now. We think the rain has actually stopped, but it's just dropping from the trees. Enjoying your pancake?
Yes, it's very good.
Very good.
Brendan is an excellent cook.
Ah, yes.
Thank you. Hello. Pancake is cooking right now. Looks pretty tasty. The one side turned out pretty well, so I'm pretty happy about that.
Nice.
Yeah.
So how was your evening last night?
Not too bad. Very cold. I was not expecting how cold I was going to be. Woke up and my teeth were chattering, so that was not the most enjoyable, but the sleep was comfortable, so I was happy about that. My back doesn't hurt. Yeah, that was good.
That's good. How was yours?
It's good. I was nice and warm and dry. I didn't want to get out of my sleeping bag this morning, actually. So, it was good. I was
Yes.
happy. There was some water in my tent, but it was just around the edges. So.
We headed off into the cool, damp morning, hoping to make quick work of Head Creek. However, we couldn't resist visiting this waterfall before setting off. It was obvious this creek was in flood conditions, especially since the first portage put in had some rather fast-moving water. We had to portage an extra couple hundred yards down the hiking trail and ended up launching the canoes through a very swampy area. 2 more portages brought some great waterfall views. We then met up with the Madawaska River again, in the middle of a large swamp. Despite being very close to a popular hiking trail, and only a kilometer from the highway, the place felt very remote. Soon, however, the vestiges of civilization began to show themselves. The day wore on longer than we were hoping, and the light rain was incessant. Our packs heavy with waterlogged equipment, we struggled through the final 2 portages, and were finally relieved when we saw Lake of Two Rivers stretched out in front of us. The car, with its magical heater, was less than 3 kilometers away. It was nearly 5 o'clock when we got back to the parking lot, tired, cold, but satisfied. having pushed ourselves and persevered.